I'll do.
Like many other owner-operators, we're all facing the challenge of adjusting to environment and climate demands, right? So at GSA, we're aiming for net zero building operations by 2045. We're really focused on making the federal footprint more sustainable and more cost efficient. And as a government landlord, we feel an obligation and a responsibility to lead in the purposeful adoption of emerging technologies and smart building technologies for our global economy and for the management of our buildings. So that's really focused on, I'll say, in all of the above, a yes and type of approach, really partnering across our organization to first electrify our buildings as a performance standard. We see that happening in other sectors, not just the building sector. We see that in the car sector as well. Second, focused on a deep energy retrofits, trying to lower and minimize our consumption to the extent practicable. That's been a focus for decades at this point, but that has to remain a focus for us. And then to get our buildings net zero ready, layer on renewables and use technology to help us achieve that goal. And our smart buildings component and analytics plays a key piece to that, because you can install a lot of technology, but you have to manage it well in order for it to be effective.
Absolutely. And I mean, in terms of, output, right? Obviously, you mentioned at the beginning, part of this is about measuring performance. What were the kind of key performance indicators that you guys, set down early as what you wanted to achieve, and have you achieved those?
Right, and it's funny because that we identified key performance indicators early on. We had three main key performance indicators, one of them being our total estimated cost impact, what we lovingly call our TECI, which is what you quoted at the onset of the introduction. We had analysis, a study done by Carnegie Mellon University back in 2019, and they did a review of our calculations for the total estimated cost impact. Their study was based on 60 of our buildings. So again, now we have 114 buildings on the platform, but at that time, they really looked at a subset of just 60. And what they found was for three different types of impacts, a total total TECI of 17 million. And they compared that to how our analytics were calculating at that time. And we were able to make refinements on our TECIs to have it even more reflective of the building conditions and what should be the calculation. So what they also found was that the payback for the system, so integration of new buildings, payback in less than 2 months, and that annual costs avoided per building were about 283,000.